So the Nintendo Switch presentation happened last week, and there's a lot of buzz around it, both positive and negative. In this video, I want to talk about my own concerns and hopes for the system. A good chunk of you know that I am a big Nintendo fan, so I might be a little biased, but I will be critical of them if they do something stupid. The Switch itself is a great concept. It's a home console that you can bring with you and play on the go. And there's always a catch to something that's too good to be true, and the Switch has a few catches to it. I want to first go over the concerns for the system, because I want to start off with a negative and then end with the positive. First of all, the price point at $299 I can deal with. What I can't deal with is the price point of all of the accessories of the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, which are vastly overpriced, I think. It cost $80 for another pair of Joy-Con. And I guess they can justify that because it's technically two controllers, but still, that's a lot of money. That's $20 more than a full-price game. Then there's the Pro Controller, which is $70. That's $10 more than a full-price game. And it's a controller that I know a lot of people are going to want. I know I want that Pro Controller. The reason for these prices are probably because of the HD Rumble technology, but even then, that's a lot for a fancy feature. So I'm hoping by at least the holiday season they'll cut prices on the controllers because they're way too expensive. Then there's the launch lineup, which doesn't really seem to be all that great. Right now we know of 5 games for sure that are launching with the system. And that's Zelda, Super Bomberman R, 1-2 Switch, Just Dance 2017, and Skylanders Imaginators, which 2 of those games are already available on other systems. I have Zelda pre-ordered along with the system, and I'm probably going to get Super Bomberman R at launch because that's probably going to be a lot of fun at conventions. But 1-2 Switch is launching as a $50 game, and that really should have been a pack-in. I was watching some of the gameplay on Nintendo Treehouse, and while it looks sort of fun, like in a Wii Sports kind of way, it really should have been a pack-in game, or even just like a download on the system. Because for what it is, a collection of mini-games where there are only just really simple graphics and live-action tutorials, that is not something I would pay $50 for. And the sad thing is, it's the only game that really shows off the advantages of the new controllers. But people aren't going to buy this game because they think it might be worth it to try it out. You need to give them something to try. That's part of why the Wii did so well. Wii Sports was bundled with it so people could see how it worked. And since this isn't bundled, it's not going to be anywhere near of a success that Wii Sports was. Wii Sports sold like, what, 80 million something because it was a pack-in? I'd struggle to say if this would even reach 500,000 like some of the other Wii launch titles. Another thing is the announcement of a voice chat app on your phone, and that's how they're going to do voice chat. That seems really odd and convoluted. I understand why, because of the portability of the console and just using an app on your phone rather than using it on the console itself. But while using the console at home, I would expect the console itself to have some kind of app to talk to people. I hope they rectify that in the coming months because that's something that people are very confused about. I personally never really use voice chat at all because I don't like talking to people online when I'm playing. The only time I really do is if I'm talking with my friends playing a game, which I would hope that they would at least have friend-to-friend voice chat. The other thing is paid online, which they're doing a free trial at first until the fall. Which one advantage of Nintendo systems is that they have always had online free. Though not always good online, the online on Wii was kind of sketchy, the online on Wii U was a lot better. But having paid online for this, I guess it could work, but they really need to have some stuff to offer that would entice people to buy it. And right now they say they're going to have free NES and SNES games that will have online capabilities each month. But you only get to play them for that month and then they're gone. Which I think is a pretty big mistake. I'd hope that with the Virtual Console they would have something a lot better to offer than that. Now, even though I have all of these concerns, I do have a lot of hopes for the system. Despite what seems to be an abysmal launch lineup, the overall year looks pretty good. And Zelda is a system seller. Despite what people say, it is a system seller. I keep hearing a lot of people saying that not everybody likes Zelda. Do they forget that when the Wii launched, pretty much everybody bought Zelda? That's the only launch title that sold a lot besides, I think, Raving Rabbids. It wasn't Red Steel, it wasn't Excite Truck, they sold about 500,000. It was Twilight Princess, that sold over 7 million units. It's not Mario numbers by any means, but it's still a lot. And it's not even comparable to Wii Sports because that was a pack-in. Another thing I think people are forgetting is that we have Mario Kart in April. I know it's just a port of Mario Kart 8, but not everybody had a Wii U. You gotta remember that. And not everybody bought the DLC. I didn't buy the DLC. So to me, I'm practically buying half of a new game. But the main thing about Mario Kart is that this is the first time we've had a Mario Kart this close to launch. The only time we've had one this close was with the Game Boy Advance, and that was about 6 months. For this, It's the next month, and people love Mario Kart. Mario Kart Wii sold a ton, and that was 1.5 years after the system launched. But with this system, we only have to wait until April 28th. And for the people that didn't have a Wii U, it's going to seem like a new game. Then there's ARMS, which I expect to release in May or June, and that's a brand new IP, and from what I've heard, it's actually a lot more fun than it looks. And thankfully, you don't have to use motion controls for it, though I'll probably try out motion controls just to see how they feel. Then there's also Splatoon 2 in the summer, which is an excellent multiplayer online title. We just gotta see how the free trial of online goes before people pay for it. Then of course we have Mario Odyssey in the holiday season, which reminds me a lot of the launch release of Super Mario Galaxy, because that released around a similar time back in 2007. And that's a mainline home console Mario game within 9 months of the system. The last time we've had anything near that close to the launch date is Mario 64. Of course, that was a launch title, and that actually would have been better, but still, Mario Odyssey in the holiday season of this year, not next year, is really great. Now, as far as third-party support goes, there's something that I've noticed. RPGs. I know it might be just because they were doing a presentation in Japan, but it seems like RPGs are going to be a big thing on the system. Similar to how there are a lot of RPGs on the 3DS. And that's a genre that seems to be neglected by the other two big companies, though Sony less so. But definitely Microsoft. The RPGs that are on there, I guess Final Fantasy 15, I don't know anything else that's an RPG on Xbox One. And I'd really like to see RPGs come back strong. We'll see how it does with other third parties with FIFA and NBA 2K, as well as Minecraft and Skyrim releasing on it. There's still a lot of time between now and launch, and a lot of time between now and E3. So there's probably a lot that we don't know about. I hope that this launch ends up like the 3DS launch, because the 3DS launch was pretty terrible, but in the end, the 3DS did really well. They just need to market the system the way they marketed it in that first trailer. But regardless if this system is going to sell well or not, I'm going to enjoy myself with the games I want to play. And I hope you enjoy me talking about those games, because I want to cover a lot more Nintendo stuff on this channel. It's a switch in content, if you will. I'm still gonna do movie and cartoon stuff, I just want to do more gaming stuff because that's something I'm really passionate about. And the way I did my reaction to the Nintendo Switch presentation is actually a pretty good way of getting around copyright. Though I've seen other people do it with the full video just with no audio. So I think it's mainly an audio thing, not a visual thing for Nintendo's content. I hope that they're going to be more consumer friendly with the Switch content and uploading stuff of that, because I do plan on recording stuff and I do want to do a review of Zelda. So those are all of my hopes and concerns for the system. Tell me yours down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to